bird's-eye view shows the extent of the devastating floods across the state of Missouri. Streets seem to disappear into the murky waters.
You all are going to have to decide what side of the river you want to be on.
More than 200 roads remain closed, including large parts of Interstate 44, seen here submerged under feet of water. This railroad bridge, swallowed up by the rising Merrimack River, collects passing debris instead of providing passage for trains. The St. Louis County Police Department looks like it lives on its own island.
It is so going to hit the bridge.
This home was seen floating down the current river, eventually slamming into a bridge. State officials have shut down dozens of roads and bridges threatened by the flooding. Currents were so powerful along the Merrimack River near St. Louis, this entire steel bridge was swept away.
To cope with a major rainstorm on Sunday, playing havoc with traffic on travel across the province. It blew in over the provincial capital, Guangzhou, in early morning. City officials issued a stern warning to residents about its potential impact. And in just a 7-hour period, precipitation in some areas exceeded 400 millimeters. Infrastructure and buildings have been damaged, while there have also been some landslides. No injuries have been reported yet, but the forecast is for more rain across the region.
Sounded like gunshots in the store. Like, it was so loud. We could talk and we couldn't even hear ourselves speak. It was that loud in the store.
Here, it's like damaged. Like, that's how big it was, I guess. And then I don't know, it just like cracked it. Like, I was on the freeway and it looked like it was snowing. Like you just see like the bundles of the golf balls.
Man, this is amazing. Canada's federal government has been deploying troops to flooded areas in Quebec for 3 days now, with more to come. They're supporting local efforts to build sandbag barriers and help residents forced to flee. More than 1,500 homes have already been evacuated. 2 people, a 37-year-old man, a 2-year-old child, are missing after their car was swept away. As the relief effort intensifies, some areas are facing mandatory evacuation orders.
This is by far the worst we've seen on this fire.
Thousands of acres of forest burn in a wildfire on the Florida-Georgia line. Crews are fighting the flames from the ground and in the air.
The planes are flying right over our place. You can't. There's a lot of fire department planes, and it's real smoky. It's bad.
A lightning strike sparked the fire in early April. Now dozens of families are evacuating as the flames get dangerously close to their homes.
One main condition affecting our fire conditions, 66% of the Sunshine State is in a drought. According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, that's the highest percentage of any state. Parts of Florida are even being classified as in an extreme drought, the second worst level. The Florida Forest Service says so far this year, nearly 1,900 fires have been reported in the state.
Starkey Wilderness Preserve could close schools downwind for a second day. One thing is for sure, start times and dismissal times are changing for 2 schools in the path of this stubborn fire. And tonight, another concern, all that smoke is more than just a smelly inconvenience. It could cause major health problems.
8 people have died and more than 20 were injured after an earthquake hit China's Xinjiang region. The magnitude 5.5 quake shook a town near the border with Tajikistan. It was followed by a magnitude 5 aftershock. More than 180 houses collapsed. Rescue workers are checking the buildings for survivors. The region has been frequently hit by earthquakes in the past 6 years.
Storms tore through the middle of the country, devastating several communities. Tornadoes flattened dozens of homes from Oklahoma to Wisconsin. At least 24 people were killed, and dozens more were hurt. The massive system stretches across more than 1,000 miles. So far, 26 tornadoes have been reported across 5 different states.
Kenya declared a national disaster when more than 2 million people were affected by the drought that was reported to be the worst experience in this country in the last decade. Many longed for rain, and the meteorological department focused the April-long rains. And the rains came indeed, but the rains wreaked havoc. Here in Marsabit County in northern Kenya, many lost their cattle in the hundreds because of the sudden change of weather.
An earthquake measuring 5.7 on the Richter scale has jolted northeastern Iran. Tremor shook the city of Pishkale in North Khorasan province late Saturday local time. It struck a depth of 11 kilometers and was followed by several aftershocks. Search and rescue teams, including Red Crescent relief workers, were immediately dispatched to the area. Initial reports suggest that a number of homes in the vicinity were destroyed or damaged as a result of the quake. There are no immediate reports of casualties as of yet.
We begin in Sri Lanka, where more than 160 people have died. Many others are missing, and hundreds of thousands of residents have been displaced after the worst rains in the Indian Ocean island since 2003. The country still faces the risk of more mudslides as torrential rains continue. Rescue crews and boats are picking up stranded families, and with more rain forecast, time is of the essence.